Good morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is Bob Akerfield, liveweatherblogs.com meteorologist with today's tropical update for Friday, October 8th, 2010. We have Tropical Storm Otto out there today. He has maximum sustained winds of 70 miles an hour as of the 5 a.m. advisory and movement off to the east-northeast at 14. So here's Otto, well north of Puerto Rico and well south of Bermuda. He will continue on this east-northeast track and begin to accelerate towards the weekend as he gets caught up in the westerly flow here in that trough. And then he turned into an extratropical, pretty strong extratropical system, which could affect the Azore Islands by the middle of next week. He is forecast to become a hurricane. He might already be a hurricane. Looking at the satellite view this morning, he's probably pretty close to hurricane strength, and we'll get confirmation on that shortly here. But he is forecast to become a hurricane, and through the weekend should maintain that hurricane status as the shear is still fairly light and waters are still warm. Once he gets past this 30 north boundary here, sea surface temperatures really start to decrease, and that's when he'll start to weaken, and those southwest to westerly shear will begin affecting it, and he'll transition into an extratropical system and weaken from there. I'm looking at the satellite loop this morning, and you could see pretty deep convection around the center here. I overlaid the sea surface temperatures so you can see the next few days as we go through the next day here. Sea surface temperatures still pretty warm in this area, so with light shear, warm waters, this should maintain its hurricane status here for the next day or two. Looking at the bigger picture here, here's Otto. You can see here's Bermuda here, Puerto Rico here. Boy, especially the Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, I've seen some reports up to 20 inches of rain in this area. So you can see still some showers around there today. Starting to weaken though, as Otto shifts off to the east-northeast, this rainfall should start to lessen in this area. But you can see kind of this tail here, this lingering trough from Otto still lingering over the islands here. So can't rule out any rainfall the next couple days here as well, just to aggravate the situation. I'm also looking at another area here. This is remember from that old trough that was hanging off the east coast there. That's finally moved eastward, but it kind of left a piece of energy down here in the Western Caribbean. Kind of a broad area of low pressure right now. Thunderstorms are kind of limited right now, and why I'll show you in a minute here with the water vapor loop. We have this dry continental air. I mean, this air has synced all the way down to the eastern Pacific. I mean, look at this. There's not a cloud in the sky here in the eastern Pacific right now, and this is really gonna take a while, if this does develop, to really shake out a lot of this dry air that's sunk all the way down into the Caribbean here. So we'll watch this system. Not much model support right now for it, but it's in that favorable area climatology. So we'll watch this system through next week to see if it does develop. Looking at the models here for Otto, again, pretty simple. They do diverge late in the track. Some want to just keep it going east-northeast, and some make that east to southeast track, and then this would affect the Azore Islands, maybe eventually Portugal and Spain. Should be interesting to see the long range on this one, where it actually does go. Intensity miles, again, everybody in that hurricane range the next 24 to 48 hours, and then that shear and cooler waters will then start bringing it back down from there. Looking at the shear, and then you can see the next couple days we're going to have that lighter shear across Otto here. You can see the strong subtropical jet here just to the north of Otto, and this will eventually affect Otto in about 48 to 72 hours. And you're just looking at this subtropical jet, boy, for this time of year, it's pretty far south. And looking at the extended models here, everybody wants to know, well, is the United States, are we done? Boy, if I had it, I'm betting we might even be done with the tropical season here across the United States. Again, really can't rule out that little renegade that comes out of the Caribbean and tries to move up this way, but especially looking at the GFS model run for the next couple weeks, it's a continuing this pattern of troughs just keep coming down. The subtropical jet just staying in this area here does not bode well if you want rain across the south. This is a pretty dry pattern, but except for the subtle changes every few days, this pattern looks to continue maybe for the rest of the month, and if that's the case, we're done. I mean, this just shuts down the United States and the Gulf Coast for any storms trying to move north. So, again, could be over. I'm thinking it's probably, if I was a betting man, I'd put an 80% chance that it's over here. So, good news for us. if that's the case, we've really escaped this season unharmed for the United States, which is very grateful considering how many storms have developed. But again, so here we are in the Caribbean here watching that system. Shear is, we got around 10 to 20 knots in this area. But again, that dry air is the main factor. And just looking at this dry air, just look at this, all the way down. I mean, all the way into the Eastern Pacific, everything. So it's going to take a while to moisten up this area again. So it's going to take its time if it does develop, but you can see, just look at it. And the weather's just been fantastic here. I live here in North Florida, and I mean, you couldn't ask for any better weather the last week, and this looks to continue here through the weekend and early next week. Again, model runs. The only model that's totally different from everybody else with this system in the Western Caribbean is the Euro model. It really doesn't develop the system very strongly, but you can see it right in here, sneaks it up towards Cuba, and then ejects it this way into the Western Atlantic. What happens is the GFS and basically all the other models, the UK Med, even the Canadian model, are more progressive. They just kind of bring these frontal boundaries and these troughs pretty quickly, just keep reinforcing that drier air. The Euro just kind of digs that trough in here through early next week, early to mid next week, and that's what makes to lift this system up more towards the northeast. So I'll have to watch that. That's a little bit of a model difference there. And that's why I said, can't totally rule out a storm heading towards possibly Florida for the rest of the season, but boy, if the GFS has been a better performing model than the Euro model lately, and if I was a betting man, I'd continue this scenario where this subtropical jet just stays in control across the Gulf Coast and doesn't allow any systems to come north. And here's the UK Met model. This is for late Tuesday, and you can see still has this system down in here, weak system trying to develop in the Western Caribbean. Well, that's it for my tropical update today. I will have another update for you guys sometime this weekend, depending on if the tropics light up again, if something does develop in the Western Caribbean. If not, I will have another update for you guys Sunday or Monday. Have a good day. Bye-bye. And stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com for your latest weather information.